Noble ladies and noblemen, come, sit. Come listen to the story of our kingdom's quest. We last left our far group. We were hired by a man known as Gunderson Rockseeker to help him bring some mining equipment. He promised us a small cut of his findings of a long-lost dungeon. After finding some evidence of a ambushing and leading us to rescue Gunderson from the Cragmaw Castle, we later took him to Phandalin to wait out while we took care of some business up north. As we zoom in and we come out of the clouds, zooming in onto the continent of Othio, long past the Razorback Ridge, near the Sunderhill Mountains, just about 300 miles from our little kingdom of Dracovia. We cruise over the forest, past the elderwood trees, and flying past to zoom in near the Sunderhill Ridge, Wave Echo Cave, as we head in to zoom into our heroes. Later the group had discovered that Gunderson Rockseeker left us a note at the Stonehill Inn. The note reading he no longer could wait in rest while his brothers lay missing and their whereabouts unknown. After following the map to the Wave Echo Cave leading us north, just to the ridge of the Sunderhill Mountains, a long dormant volcano. After entering into the dungeon through a series of close calls and near deaths, we find ourselves in a hostage situation with the Black Spider. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just south of us, Spyra, Pro Gamer Guns, also known as Spyra, and Skullface, also known as Harmony, were able to convince and deceive the Black Spider into giving them safe passage away from them, buying them some time for an unknown cause. After our heroes were able to defeat the first wave of enemies, the bugbears retreated back and grabbed the hostages and now hold them at knife point. The Black Spider standing in front, next to another bugbear who is also holding the younger brother. They seem tattered, beaten, bloodied. It looks like maybe they were interrogated pretty harshly over the past couple days. Gothics! Great timing, my good sir. I am glad to see you. We have just started, so you're perfect timing if you were able to play. If not, that's okay. We currently find ourselves in a hostage situation. We have Max, Blue Knight, Gothics, the Vampire Assassin, and Pyro Megara, our Pyromancer, staring down Neznar, the Black Spider, at knife point, with his followers closely to him. So, we're seeing starts. I, as Max, yell out to the group, whoa, what do you want? And the Black Spider answers, I'm here for my master. I was sent here to bring as many items and discover the old forge that laid magic to these caverns long ago. But through my arcane knowledge and study, I have learned that the magic is waning in this cave, and the best bet is to take what I can and return to my master, Moldark. We kind of, you know, take a second to take that in. I look kind of to Blue and I'm like, Moldark. And I kind of yell back to the spider, who the hell is Moldark? And he goes, the spider turns back and he kind of tightens up and kind of brings his knife to the neck of Gunderson, and he goes, who is Moldark? You've obviously never been north of these lands. And he goes, that reminds me, who the fuck are you? And I look to him and I kind of look to my group, all of us kind of giving each other the same look as I kind of look back to Gothix. Telling the truth, telling the truth is not exactly the best plan right now. So we thinking of saying, Pyro yells out, we are treasure hunters. And he goes, the black spider kind of scoffs and he goes, more treasure hunters in these parts. God, I thought this cave was lost years ago, but all of you guys seem to be sprouting up. So, we stand here. As a DM, I'm talking to you guys. We stand here at a crossroads. What are we gonna do to get this guy out of this situation? What's the plan here? We got the four of us here. Skullface Pro, you guys can kind of say what you're doing if you like to, you know, I don't have to scan over to your pictures unless something happens, but what is your guys' plan? What are you guys doing? Gothix, Pyro, we can kind of talk for a second, figure out what the hell we're gonna do. Oh, go ahead. I get better. That's a decent idea. I turned to kind of the group. Since we're getting a second to talk, the gray cube that we found that was glowing blue in the wizard's core, or the wizard's workshop. It is a square that grows. If I say the magic words, it grows into a stone cube 10 foot by 10 foot on all dimensions. So this hallway, one square is 5 foot. Any square you see is a 5 foot cube. So it's 4 squares total, and it only goes to about 10 feet high. And we're kind of whispering to each other. We're trying to do this in all this fast time. I'll give us a little more time for exaggeration because there's internet between us. But we're going back the original. Now there are other ways to go back. You don't have to go back the original way. There are other paths to go back. You just might have not gone those ways. You don't have it's your guess of where you know, because things move and the world is alive. So bugbears may not be exactly where you think they are. Just forewarning on that. Things move around. These dungeons, they don't just stay there in place. When we go on rest and we do things, they move. They have their orders of what they're supposed to be doing, so they are moving around. My idea as my character, what I was thinking about in the eyes of Max, not knowing anything, was my best plan, babe, was that I have that little square. I can throw that in between everybody, and we roll dice onto which kind of direction everybody kind of falls to. Huh? Well, no. All right. So you. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. So I do have something. We don't have to do this, but I'm looking to the team here. I have a black little cube, and if I say the magic words, it grows to a 10-foot cube instantly. To shrink it, it takes a minute, but it can grow 10 feet by 10 foot. It might disturb the group. Someone might get crushed, though. That's what I'm worried about. My idea is that it grows in a 3-dimensional way, and so people who are underneath it will probably get pushed up, and people who are beside it will get pushed to the side. My best guess is that if we're lucky, I would roll basically a chance, a 6-sided, and 1 through 3 is left, 3 through 4 is down. It won't crush them completely, but it will give them 10 damage, and their health is not very high. They are commoners. I will tell you right now, they have very little health of these guys. They probably couldn't take that kind of a hit. So that's that. If we could maybe get them away from them, I could yell. It could create a door, or basically a wall. I think they are far too ahead for that. We go north as from the forge out of the water. Okay. Oh, wild Gothics, so cowgirl Gothics. What are you thinking? Of course you're in. What are you guys thinking? Like, what can we say to him? What can we do to him, say to him that could get us free passage or at least defuse this situation? While we figure that out, I will zoom to Skullface and Pro. They are just south of us. So okay, so go ahead, Skullface and Pro. You got that rope now. I will say that you help Skull down, but we'll have Pro, if you want to jump down, make an acrobatics check. I will say if with the rope you have, Pro, you let down Skullface. And you can, there's a many ways to go. You can choose to go, but while we figure that out, what if you throw it up at the group and then say the magic words to make it grow as it falls, crushing many of them? See, that might be a work. I'm afraid, I think that could actually work. That's actually a good idea. He's thinking maybe we throw the cube in the air instead of throwing it on the ground, and then it falls behind, throws it up. If I throw it, I would make a roll, and I would make the D, like, for it to land in the perfect spot would be like a 12 with my dex. If it lands, because if I land, yeah, you change it hostage. Well, his based on what he tells us in his motives is that he's here to collect as many magical items for his hand. He's originally here to discover if he could restart the forge, but the magic is waning in this. That's why our armor, like, you know, is only buffed. Type that up. I don't have to say this, but tell it to them so they. Okay, so Megan's thinking of what? No, tell me. You don't have to type it up. You don't have to type it up that long. The group. Go back down. This is the way to go back towards us. Which you probably should get doing. Because the longer you're not there, our characters, the more and more suspicious they are of you guys not being here. Yeah, this is that hole. This is that hole you guys had when you first came in, Pro. It is just a check of an acrobatics to get down without any help. All right, Skullface starts heading north. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. Skull gets to about right here. All right, go ahead and make a roll. Okay, all right. Pokemon sounds good with your acrobatics. That is a 18. You make it down. You slide down. You kind of hold your hand to the side as you slide down the small ridge. You are down on the floor. Skullface, you get to about a hallway you kind of recognize before. To your left, to your right, you see, you kind of take a couple sides. This path leading up to the left, this path leading up to the right. You remember as your keen mind that you guys took a right and we headed up north this way to this cavern. Okay. I can't forget rolling, but Blue Gothic says to Pyro, absolutely not. You are much too more valuable asset to the group. Did you hear that, babe? Or are you playing? This is important. Here. But Gothix is thinking. All right, so where does that lead us to? Like, you're a hostage, then what? Yeah, we need to get Gunderson away. Okay, so Cowgirl's thinking that she fakes being a hostage so that when she goes over there and he hands them, you know, the hostages over, or hands one over, that we are able to at least attack and get, you know, get them away. I don't know how much he'd be willing to trade 2 for 1, but I think with convincing him that you are, you know, valuable, more valuable, like you're 2 people to 1, might be able to. Yeah, well, he doesn't know that yet. Saying that, actually, something else develops. Gothix, you hear the drow, the dark elf behind him, start to speak up, and he looks to Max, and he says something that surprises you all out of nowhere, because we have not mentioned anything about us being royalty. The drow speaks up. You there, my grace. I know that you mean well for these 2 dwarves, that you do not want to see any harm to come to them. Might I suggest working with us, maybe helping us in a situation, so we may go our separate ways. And as we hear that, we kind of, you know, we take a step back. Everybody realizes that he called me your grace, and how does he know that that our party and that I'm king of Dracovia? This look of surprise kind of comes on Max's face. You see Gothic as you stand behind him, and you can't see his facial expression, but you see that he is taken back and surprised at the words that Valek the drow has said to him. Almost seems like he was reading our minds. Wait, can one of us make a temporary duplicate of themselves? No, so far I don't think anybody has that power to do that. Skullface has the polymorph spell necklace, which you didn't get back from him, but he's sitting on that. His minor league, but we're in front of them now, so you don't want to do that. I think the stone throwing on top of the 4 in the back, because if you look at the map, you see that there's a decent little space. I'll still have to roll for it. Just make sure that the others don't get hurt. Rushed. That'll suck. But I have the necklace. Did I get it from you? I don't remember if I got it from you. I thought you had it. I told myself to remember to get it from you right away, but I didn't remember if I did that. Okay, so we do have the mat, or the thing, but I haven't attuned to it, so it doesn't matter. None of us have attuned to it, so it doesn't matter. We need 2 hours to attune to that thing, so it's useless right now. It's all right. You guys have a minute. You know, there is a little delay. You know, I'm giving us a second to think through the situation. As this is going down, I'd say you guys get a little bit farther, not much farther. So we're thinking either have Cowgirl kind of hand it over, kind of make them, you know, not have the knives next to the Gunderson's necks. Do a cord, what is it called? Cord de France. It's like it's a final maneuver. I was reading about it. Okay. Called the Cord de Grace. Cord de Grace. It's called like, I don't know why it's called the Cord de Grace, but I feel like it's a French term. Pro, do you follow Skullface? Skullface is heading about another 40 more. Say it gets about right here, and then we have to have into a reaction of our turn. Pro, I say you could make it about halfway if you're heading that. Yeah. Okay. So we have one idea for throwing the little stone and seeing how it goes. We have another one. We try to trade like one hostage for the other. All right, you guys want to try that? You can do that. Gave it to me before you went out. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. All right, so who wants to talk to the black spider? Cowgirl, you want to talk to the black spider? Okay. Go ahead. Type it up. We shall see. So, who? The Gunderson? Yes, they're both dwarfs. They are both dwarfs. They're both dwarfs. There's Gunderson and his brother are hostages. Yeah, they're both hostages right now. Well, one has a bug. You see a bugbear, thick in the fur, a couple of rings in his eyebrow, a tear in his right ear, as he holds Gunderson close and holds a knife to his throat. You also see the black spider, very small, thin, gangly, almost just a little bit taller than Gunderson himself, as he also kind of looks to Blue, looks to Gothix in the back, and shuffles in his spot, holding the knife tighter and kind of easing his grip. See past them in the shrine room behind them, the fire from their brazier shining through the right side of the north. I think you should go ahead. Yeah, so Cowgirl, she puts her hand onto Blue's sidearm and kind of he turns to the side, and she kind of hints to him that she wants to step forward, and he bows his head and takes a step back as Cowgirl gets ready to speak. She says, "I make a better ally than an enemy. Let the dwarves go, and you can take me instead. A queen to ransom for a passive income. I nod to members of the group to stand down." Oh, sorry. I nod to members of the group to stand down, but be prepared. As Cowgirl says this, the black spider, kind of looks confused, and he looks to the side to Valek, and he looks and he goes, "Is she what she says? Is she a queen? You're telling me a king and a queen came all the way down to this slump to rescue one of their people?" And Valek looks, and he stands tall, almost expressionless, still bleeding out the side of his mouth from our last battle. He looks to this black spider, and he nods and says, "Yes, everything they say is true." And he looks to them. "That's stupid," as he looks to us. "Well, I'd say a queen for two lowly dwarfs seems like an even trade. Don't try any funny business." So do you walk forward then? All right, go ahead. Okay. All right. So he says to Cowgirl, and he says to the group, he goes, "Easy does it now," as he looks to the bugbear to his left and nods. The bugbear looks down to his master and nods back. All right, go ahead. Cowgirl's typing it up right now. Gothic speaks up. My queen, it is a bad idea. I think this is a bad idea, but if you insist, I trust you hesitantly. I look to Gothix and I'm like, she has a plan. Okay, so the way that works when you, since nobody is surprised, it's not that you take an opportunity, attack of opportunities when they leave. It'll be everybody rolls for initiative, and we see who acts the fastest when this goes down. So, Cowgirl starts. You can. We'll sit here. So, okay. So Cowgirl, seeing as the situation is tense and nobody makes their move, the camera sees to the view as it is the wall and sees the standoff between the two groups as everybody stands in it, ready. Cowgirl, Megara, takes a couple of steps forward, her feet and her shoes clinking against the stone underneath her as she makes the first move and holds her hands out, showing that she has no weapons at the ready. The spider looks to the bugbear and nods his head, and they push the Gunderson brothers forward, and the bugbear reaches for Cowgirl, and Cowgirl snaps her fingers. Everybody go ahead and roll initiative as we see what is going to happen here. Who reacts first? Yeah. Everybody roll initiative. $17. Skull, you got. Thank you, Skull. You said, what is it, babe? 18? Max got an 18 too. 19, 20. Wow, I got a 22. That's pretty good. Yes, you do, Pro. Go ahead and roll. Actually, I'll keep you and Skull on the same initiative. I'll keep you and Skull on the same initiative since you guys are together. So whoever rolls the highest out of the two of you is fine. Gothix rolled a 13 plus Gothix is 5. That is a 18. Very good roll. Everybody had very good. Now we see what the bad guys roll. $11. Alright, 13. So enemy rolls 13. That's fucking great. Okay, good. Thank God. Not bad. Alright. Gamer's rolled a 10. That's with all your bonuses, Pro. 4, so 14, and then Skull rolled higher. So with Skull. So we'll say Skull is your 17. Okay. So as everything slows down and Cowgirl goes to do her spell of blur and change, I'm going to throw my block now that the hostages are a little away. I'm going to throw my my magic boulder stone, magic porta boulder, my porta boulder. That's what it is. As on my turn, I have to get a 12 DC to land it on all 4. I will say anything lower, I land it on the 2, and even less, or fail, I will say it misses. So below an 8, anywhere between an 8 and a 12, I hit my target with my dex. Oh, I rolled a fucking crit. All right, so that fucking goes fucking really good. Okay, so this is what happens. As Max, I take the little porta boulder, the square with the glowing blue orb, and I throw it in the air above them, listening to Gothix's idea. I yell out the magic words, "Grow, bitch!" And the stone flying in the air above them grows to a 10-foot by 10-foot square. I will draw that. So this is what happens. It is going to roll 1d10 damage on all creatures in that area, bludgeoning, and is going to push them in a random direction. Okay. So this is how the random direction. There's my rocks fall, they fucking die. I know, right? That's what that was. I did. It came out that way. Okay, so roll 10. This is the damage. They're bludgeoning, and they get 10 damage. Okay. At that, and then they roll 6. I will say, to the floor will be 6 through or 3 or 4 through 6, and the backwards will be 1 through 3. Okay, so they get pushed backwards. They take 1d10 damage. So, as I throw the square into the air, you see everybody's faces kind of see it, and it slows down, and you hear "Grow, bitch," and it just expands instantly above them. These two get pushed back, taking 1d10. That 1d damage, just you see the pushes him aside, down onto the ground. Valek falls, slides on the ground, and actually takes 1d10 damage. Okay. The bugbear also gets pushed back and knocked prone. For blurred, not yet. Knocked prone. Or no, that's paralyzed. Where is right here? The black spider also gets pushed in the back, taking 1d10 damage. Good, he's fucking hurt. The two bugbears that get hit, actually, this one falls to the ground. This one gets pushed, and you see him kind of fall flat on his face, and he actually dies right there. And the square block now stands. The roof is about 20 feet tall. This square stands at about 10 feet tall. So here you go. Here, about 10 foot by 10 foot. The black spider gets pushed and takes his 10 damage. He holds his feet, and he is at 13 damage. Cowgirl, you are up. You can cast your blur now if you want, or you can do something else. It is now your turn. The black spider stands right there. The other two are behind. Yes, they are. What did you say? Okay. So Cowgirl, thinking quickly, moves between Rockseeker, pushing him to the side over here and getting in front of the spider, and casts a blur on herself. Yeah. Boom, motherfucker. Okay, at that, Skullface, it is your turn. I will zoom to you guys. I assume you guys are on your... unless you say something else. Pro, you got to about right here. Let's say you're like, you see Skullface just take off after telling you those words, and you get to about right here on his first turn. He gets to about right here. Skull, you find a your keen mind remembers the path you took, and you get to about right here. And Pro, you get to about right here. As you follow, and you kind of lose Skull as he is running. And you guys, that is your turn unless you're doing something else. Oh, you guys have the dash action, so you can get even a little farther. Say about a little bit more because I gave you guys already pretty grace, so I'd say about like that more. Okay. Pyro, you were blurred. Did you want to attack him, or you did your action? Okay. Okay, so you did. Okay, so you did blur. All right. Next is Skullface. Gothics, it is your turn, good sir. I will. Cap. Sorry, buddy. Yep, you guys, he got a little head of start of you, but you're following each other. You guys are staying about the same. Wait for me, Skull. I call out. I can't wait. I fucked up, pro. As that goes, we wait for Skullface, or Gothics. Valek, the drow, gets pushed back by the, and he picks himself up, and see him putting his hands on the wall, looking and seeing that there's still a little bit of an opening. And the bugbear next to him passed out, or are prone on the ground as he sees his ally on the ground, and he kind of yells out, "Master, are you all right?" I would say that it would be an acrobatics check, but yes, he has to slow down for you to catch up to him, but yes, that's completely possible. You would basically get 30 more feet ahead of him. And throw it as hard as I can at the nearest enemy. Okay, so the black spider is the only one that's right there. But you grab your katana. It is now a +8 to hit because you put it in the brazier fire, and it is. So go ahead and roll 20 and add 8 to it, and then roll, if it hits, roll 1d8 +6 because it has a +1 ability right now because we put it in that flaming stuff. You have it for still. It only has been about 20-30 minutes since you last did that, so you still have about a good 3.5 hours on that brazier. As you pull out the katana, Gothics, all of a sudden a flame kind of cracks on the katana, and you see the magical the arcana gathering around the blade itself as it turns green. At the same time, Max's armor also flames up, and flames engulf and not burning you as you hold it in your hand, and you notice that the fires can pass through your hands unharmed. You get ready to throw your spear. You roll a 4 plus his AC is son of a gun on a rocket ship. I hate you, man. There you go. He is. He has an AC of 14. Get an 8 plus 4, 8, 11, 12. Your katana, as you get ready and you throw your katana, it's green flame, and you throw it. It flies and sticks into the wall behind the black spider as he kind of moves to the side, and it stays into the stone behind you. Your katana now lodged into the wall behind. Okay, so Katana lays behind you. That is a miss, unfortunately, my good friend. The enemy now goes. With that, the black spider standing in front of Cowgirl. Our queen, he has spent here. Level 3. He's done on level 3. It's the bad guys. It's the spider's turn. So, this is what's going to happen. The black spider holds up his staff and he slams it into the ground. And as he slams it into the ground, it stands there without him holding it. As it boom, boom, boom. He puts his hands out and he kind of spirit fingers them and he goes, "Come to me, my pretties." As all of a sudden you hear coming across the wall, a black giant spider makes itself known, crawling from the roof, appearing out the side, and spider climbing upside down above the black the stone square. This giant spider getting to about right here above. You see the black spider above, this giant spider above, hanging upside down. Its saliva flowing from its mouth as its 8 eyeballs staring at you, shining in the light of our torches. With that, he calls. Do you hear any other bonus action? I would say he attempts that was his action. I don't believe anything as a bonus action. Grabber, spider climb. Oh, he has that. Okay. So he is going to use his staff and use the spider climb, and is going to climb up the walls. As he trades places, you see him just turn around and attempt to climb the wall and get around. With that, Cowgirl, you have an attack of opportunity. You have an attack of opportunity right now. He's going to climb and try to scurry away from the group as he tries to 2, 3, 4. It has to be like a weapon. It can't be like a spell. Crazy, like a cantrip or weapon. It cannot be a spell. Yeah, because you have to, yeah. Because there are spells that you can do. It's okay, Gothics. No worries. What are you gonna do? Fireball? 5 plus what? Is 14. Okay. How many feet is a dash action? It is your same movement speed, so 30. You have your normal movement of 30, and then you choose to use your action as choose to use your you choose to use your action as a movement. Let me double check. Okay. Have it right. Rise, initiative, bonus action. reactions. Certain special abilities, spells, and situations allow you to take a special action called a reaction. Reaction is an important response trigger on your turn or someone else's. The opportunity attacks reaction. When you take a reaction, you can't take another one until the start of your next turn. We know that. Yeah, I guess you can do a spell. Yeah, a reaction interrupts another creature's turn. That creature can continue. Doesn't say you can't do a spell. Oh, you rolled your chromatic orb to see if it hits. Either way. Okay. I just want to double check. Okay, so Cowgirl gets ready a fireball, and she uses her cantrip firebolt and shoots towards the black spider as he kind of uses, and he kind of slimy little ass climbs across up the thing like a spider, imitating its movement as he climbs over the boulder. Cowgirl shoots the fireball, and it just barely misses him. Let's see. It is back to the top of the round. It is Max's turn. It'll be Pyro and then Skull and Pros. Okay. As Max, I move towards Gunderson and the brother, and I grab them both by the shoulders, and I fucking throw them behind me towards Skullface and Gothix. And they kind of, not really far, but they kind of, you know, whoa, and Gothix and Skullface stop them as they almost, you know, stumble. And I yell to Gothix and Skullface, I'm like, get them to safety now! And I move forward, and I attempt to, the spider is at 10 feet high. I'm only about 5'9". What else can I do? I have my bow. I take a step back, and I shoot my bow towards the spider. Roll an 11 plus my 6. I didn't put my bow into the thing. I should have done that. 11 plus 6 is 17. That is a hit. No. Yeah. 2 damage plus my 4. So that is 6 damage to the spider. As I pull and I knock my arrow, I shoot towards the spider staring at Megara. 6. Okay, cool. That is Maxie's turn. Pyro, it is your turn. Chromatic orb. Okay. Go ahead. Well, yeah, you're looking for 14 plus. Okay, so what is it? Fire? Okay, level 1 or level 2? Okay, so you're level 1 then? Okay. So Cowgirl starts to get a fireball in her hand. She casts a familiar spell to you, Gothix, Chromatic Orb, as she chooses fire for her weapon damage, and the ball the ball gets bigger and bigger in her hand as she casts the Chromatic Orb, and she throws it towards the spider as its head kind of dodging about, and all of a sudden just fire comes over it. You smell the burnt hairs of this spider. As it takes 16 damage. The spider yells out and screeches and is very damaged as it screeches out in pain. Kind of some of its eyes are shut, and you kind of see some of the mandibles kind of move towards its eyes and cover and clean the soot. Skullface, you are up. Skull and Pro. We go back to the bottom of the cave. And we zoom back and we see our heroes as one of the hallways. You're looking down. You see nothing. See nothing. All of a sudden you hear then silence again. And then you hear, wait, Skull. And again, the same hallway. You just see through the doorway as you see the young fawn chasing Skullface. Wait! wait for me! And skull face 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 5, 10. Yeah, you caught up. Okay, so that is your guys' turn, your movement. You guys find yourself walking past dead ghoul bodies and the long open cavern that we fought the ghouls in before we reached the smelter of this dungeon. Skullface recognizing every his last couple steps with his hind feet, remembering the path he took, and always knowing which way is north. He is finding his way very easily through this cave. Pro Gamer Guns, you are very lucky to have Skullface leading you through. Else, you would, barely remember which way was left or right, which way to go. I know where I'm going next. You just let me know. Pyro, can you please grab my katana while I take the others to safety? You can use it whenever you want until we're out. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, so we have Gothix. It is your turn, my good sir. I'm thirsty. Love. My goodness. All right, Sir Gothix. Go ahead and let us know what you'd like to do. You guys see the katana lodged into the stone. I look to my group and I'm like, should I say the magic words to make it shrink again? Now that we got them, I think that's a good idea. It'll take a course of 6 turns, but it'll happen. I wait for Pro to catch up. Okay. Sounds good. You guys are pretty much next to each other. I grapple the one in front of me, then forced to lead him back down the stairs behind us. Gothix yells out, my queen, Megara, you may use my katana. Keep it safe and return it to me. As he grabs a hold of the youngest Rockseeker brother, Nundro, and starts dragging him as you see his cape, his trench coat fly in the air, and you hear the leather flapping as Gothix moves and just grabs the dwarf. Gothix is grabbing the dwarf. The dwarf is kind of feet are off the ground as Gothix just lifts him off his feet and is running with him, hanging behind him, Naruto style, as the held by his collar, feet swaying in the wind. 5, 10, 15, 20. 40. I will say, at the same time, Blue reacting and without a word, just kind of, you hear him grunt, and he also grabs the eldest Rockseeker brother and starts running. You hear the clanking of his heavy plate armor as he 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 30, about right here, and dragging the same brother. You guys get to about here, and you feel the wind starting to blow. As you get there, Gothix, Blue changes the direction of the spell, of the gust of wind spell, and the gust of wind spell now turns in your favor, and you can attempt to, when it comes to your turn, to jump across, and I will give you advantage. Try to jump over. Okay. Now we go to the enemy. Let's see here. The black spider is going to yell to the bugbear as he's on the floor, and he goes, "The hell are you doing? This is no time for a nap. And he uses his spider climb and runs past Valek. Valek standing straight, prim, proper, still. Looks to the bugbear as his master runs past, and he follows closely behind. And 5:30, as he yells, "We need to get out of here now!" And this bugbear picks himself up, half his movement speed. Um, 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. The spider also, it is outside the 5-foot range, I'd say. And it starts to turn around and starts to climb on the other side of the stone and make a way for it too. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. As they're making a break for it. Let's see here. So that is enemy. We go back to Skullface and Pro. His Pro's initiative, so I'll just do this with it. What would you guys like to do? You guys are still going the same way, I take it? Or which way are you going? You wait for Pro. She gets to about right here. She catches up to you, kind of a little bit out of breath. You both are still feeling pretty banged up a little bit here. Looks like you guys are about half health. Continue north, and continue to the trench, and continue north. Okay. So Skullface, he kind of looks up. He kind of, you see Skull. You see Skull for a second, kind of think and look and point, and he goes this way. Follow me. And 5, 10, 15, 30. Here. Pro gamer guns following closely behind you as you guys run. Together, you guys going down the narrow hallways. You guys see as the walls are moving beside you, and you're kind of looking down one corridor and the next. As Pro, you were looking left and right, kind of trying to figure out familiar markings and similar landmarks. As Skull looks very determined and knowing which direction he's going. You don't see him looking about, darting as you guys are both running. He's looking straight and kind of just keeping his as you guys are heading towards direction. We go right, not left. Okay. So north. So up north, or do you mean over here where Pro is? And then I wait for your answer. If this is what you meant over here towards the forge, that's let me know. I want to make sure I get your movements and directions down right. We go back to the main group. We get to Max, Pyro, and Gothix. As this goes down, it comes to Max at the top of the round. I yell out the magic words, and I run up. Did you want to grab his katana? Or do you want me to grab it? Oh, you grab it for him. Okay, sounds good. I yell out the magic word, "Shrink, bitch," and you start to see the glow start to reappear around the stone as the stone starts to shrink. And it gets to about right here for this turn. It takes about 6 turns, so that's 1. Take 1 minute for it to shrink. Not gonna shrink very fast. Pyro, your turn. The square block has gone down to about about... Oh, they went this way. Sorry, they ran past. They are retreating. They are running down the temple. You kind of are down towards the... towards away. I know, right? I want to chase them too, but I don't want to get cut off. We know there's other things around. We should regroup. We should... I don't want to fucking let him go either, but... You know... It sucks, but we can't get fucked. We know there's other things out there. And it is not safe for the king and queen to go run off towards them. You want to do it? Fuck it. You and I got this. We took on a damn necromancer, which we can do this. Right? Fuck it. For the night is dark and full of terrors. You can, if you want, babe, you can, like, you want to go back and regroup and then see what we go. See what we do.
Take the boring approach.
Take the boring approach, the safe approach. Yeah, right. You already did your risky maneuver. Did you? Oh, you can move farther past him if you want to use your action surge to move another. You would move 30 feet. No, not for you, for her, for pro. 30. You would move another 30 feet, and you would be leading Skull, if you want to. Skull's the one that knows the directions which you need to go. You do know now because you've been this part, so you kind of remember. But there was a section there where the corridors go and they twist and turn, where you would need keen mind. I would make you roll for a percentage that you took the wrong turn. But he has the keen mind feat, and he remembers everything for like a month solid, and like in detail. But after a month, it can, it's not that it fades. It's just that certain things he might not remember. I might have him roll for or something like that to remember. But anyway, so Cowgirl is going to grab the katana as the stone is shrinking with the katana in it. You kind of see, and you kind of take a second, and you pull out the katana out, Skull's or Gothix's katana, and you put it in your pocket, and you yell to me. You're like, "We should regroup. It sucks, but we should regroup." And you start to kind of take a step back and then turn around and do one of those walk backwards first and run, checking behind you, and you regroup with the rest. 5, 10, 30, 5, 40, 45, 60. You get to about right next to Gothix. I did my action. Okay, so now it is Gothix's turn. We go right, not move 30 feet and use my dash action, move 30 feet and use my action search another 30 feet. Sounds good. Okay, so you nice and continue in the trench and continue north. Okay, so up and to the right from where I am. Okay, let's see here. Gothix, you see the ledge in front of you as you're pulling the youngest Gunderson brother, or the youngest Rockseeker brother. As you run towards the edge, you see the dead spider on the green spider on the ground that you kicked off the ledge and fed on later for healing. As you drag the dwarf behind you, and he kind of yells out in a voice, "I did not agree to this." And you, last hearing that, jump. Go ahead and roll is a dwarf. Go ahead and roll 20. Acrobatics. Your acrobatics is a +7. I'm looking for... I will give you advantage, but I am looking for about a 15. Being that you're holding a creature, but you have the gust of wind blowing in your direction. 9 + 7 is 16. That works. You have advantage, so you could roll again if you like. Remember those words when you hear you have advantage. That is a word that you should perk up when you hear given advantage, because I don't give that all the time. That is something for, like, that something is helping you or something like that. Keep an eye out for hearing those words. Roll with advantage. That is a key phrase that should make you wet. Oh. I'm embarrassed to know me. All right, 11 plus 7, that's an 18. So look, it just got a little bit better. As he says those last words, I did not sign up for this. You jump in the air, everything goes silent. You hear the wind start to blow behind you and give you that extra boost from the cantrip. Blue smiling underneath his armor as he sees his handiwork helping, and you make it across. Slowly, will you make it across? Your hands waving, and you make it. You both tumble. Gunderson kind of sliding to the side, but you get up, you pull him up, and you get ready to keep going. You turn around to see, kind of pull him to the side, and you wait for the rest of the group. It is now the enemy's turn. The enemy's turn. This group, they keep going. They're gonna keep running. They hear you. The last thing Max hears is, "We must get to the meeting place," and that's it. 5, 10, 15. I hear the door kind of open around the corner, and then I just don't even hear it shut as the pattering of the footsteps gets farther and farther away, and we lose them. Wait. Now, well, that sucks. Got away. Fucker. Last thing, here's the footsteps pattering away. As it comes to, that was 5, 6, 7, 8. The 5, 6. The stone gets now to about right here. I wait for my turn. I hold my action, and my action, I hold my my action for the my little device to shrink, and when it gets to my turn, it shrinks back to its last size, and I pick it up. It's glowing now, even brighter, as I put it back in my pocket and kind of smile, and like that kind of came in use. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Catch up to you guys. As I catch up to you guys, Blue also makes his attempt. Cowgirl, you can do your acrobatics check as well with advantage. As you see Blue dragging the youngest dwarf brother. What? Well, there you go. As Blue in. As Blue runs over with his acrobatics of 5, Blue getting ready to run. All of a sudden, with a flash of red hair, Megara runs right past Blue, jumps over, does an elegant, like, hands and behind her diving, does a kind of somersault as the wind pushes her from behind, and she lands on her hands and knees, one hand on the ground in front of you Gothics, and you kind of take a step back. Whoa, as she rolls a crit on the jump across, and she just keeps going. As followed behind her, Blue as well, dragging the youngest Gunderson brother. Or the oldest Gunderson brother, as he jumps over as well. The Gunderson brother, he looks below him as he sees the stream below him, the dead spider bodies, as he's like, oh shit, as they make it just barely over. Blue kind of sliding on one knee and stopping himself with his right foot at Gothic's, the momentum catching on the stone and lifting him back up, as without a miss of a beat, we keep running as well. Max going to be to his turn here soon. Skullface and Pro, you guys are up. Now, which way were you guys going again? So were you heading So option number 1 is down here to the right towards pro. This what you meant? Or option number 2, where you're at right now? Where you are, Skull. Are you meaning towards pro or towards your ticket? We go to the Spell Forge. Okay. Sounds good. You are here. As you come out, you Pro Gamer Guns or Spyra, you see Skull running in front of you. He kind of takes a second, and you see the um the smelter your left, the long old smelter. The door still ajar from when Blue and Skull were trying to find what little they could hope for in this dungeon. As you see, you can take a right up here. You can take a north. There's a ditch in the river that leads underneath. You can take a right over here. Which way would you like to go? To the right, you remember as the place where our clones are. Yeah. To the right is where we fought the spectator. Big bulby-eyed thing. Go right. Okay, so 5. You guys get to about right here. Okay. Are you ready for bed? Horrible. Notice the kitty cat. Kitties just play with my phone. Alright. So we resume back to our group. Initiative can be ended. What? When? Okay. Grasping Vine is, I think, gone now too. Alright. We look back. How long will it take for us to catch up to the group? I don't know. It really depends on where you guys go and where we go. I think we're about to bump into each other, though, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, guys. So, Cowgirl in the lead. The youngest Gunderson brother in Gothic's grasp, along with with Blue following closely behind. The group running and trying to rush as best as we can. Max being the last to catch up to the group. I run, I get a running start, I do the best I can, my acrobatics. 3 days, yes, that's so true. Seriously, 3 sessions it took you to find each other. Funny God. God, I hate my life. 8 plus my acrobatics, which is 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, fucking 14. my life. As I run, I jump, I just lose my footing. A stone of the tile cracks underneath my feet as I jump. I knew this was gonna happen. I fucking jump. The wind gust blowing as I, oh shit! And you see the ledge, and you see Max, and you see flying. It looks like he's gonna make it slow motion, and then you just see him and fall on his ass again. God damn it. I didn't make it. I fucking rolled twice with advantage and still didn't make the fucking thing. And I take 1d6 bludgeoning. I take 5 fucking damage. I'm as you see that Gothics are blue, you hear Max kind of go, what? As you see Max not make it. Blue stops for a second and he kind of lets go of the Gunderson brother and walks back towards the king and puts his hand out to help as the rest of the group. Blue kind of yells out, wait! And Cowgirl and Gothics take a step, and you hear the pebbles, sliding underneath their feet as they take a quick, harsh second to stop. And Blue reaches his hand out and helps Max up. I will say, since I'm going and he's helping, there's no roll needed for that. And he helps Max up, and pulls him up, kind of hangs over, and we keep going. Blue reaches to grab the older Gunderson brother, and the Gunderson brother, as he grabs for his shoulder, the Gunderson brother kind of swipes his hand away, and he goes, I can walk myself. And as I go, well then let's get going, and I start taking off towards the group, and we start running. And as we're running, I yell out, as we're running, Cowgirl turns behind you. You see Cowgirl running in front of you, and she looks behind you, Gothics, and she pulls out the katana and throws it to you. You effortlessly catch it in air as we are all running to get the fuck out of this cave. As we're running, get out of this cave. Get to about right here. It gets really thin as the group kind of crams together. Some of the passageways getting more narrow than others. We come out as the group kind of takes a second, and we come out and we see we're in that opening again, where the water from the mountains, caverns kind of enter into this area where a hot spring kind of makes the sound that you hear every so once in a while. All right, we zoom back to Skullface. Pro Gamer Guns. What would you guys like to do? And we go north from where we are. All right. Skull, you say, you kind of look into the air, and you see Skullface kind of sniff into the air, and he's like, let's go this way. And Pro Gamer Guns, without argue, you follow both fine. As you guys come out and you guys turn around the corner, Pro Gamer Guns, you notice the opening in the cavern again, and you see from across the water, you see the torch of Cowgirl in her hand as she is leading the group. Now the two maps are meeting. So you don't see us there. Reunited, it feels so good. Reunited, something understood. I'm pretty butcher. That's okay. What game? What are you dying?
The kid,
Yeah.
it's
You see Cowgirl, you see Skullface, or you see Max, Gothix, you see Blue. You still see Gothix holding on to the youngest Gunderson brother. Just as the Gunderson brother notices that the other one's running with them, but kind of like hasn't said anything yet. As we get closer to you, Pyro, you see Skull first. Gothix, you see Skull and Pro Gamer Guns as well.
you know,
I know nothing. Max yells out as we're going, Jesus Christ, where the fuck were you guys? As we run up to you guys are kind of standing, and you guys kind of get ready to say what you guys are going to say. And as you stand there, the camera sees behind you, and you just see the rest of the group. No time! As the rest of the group is kind of running past you. We need to go now! And Skullface, you kind of notice that... Crap. Out loud. That we are just fucking running. We're running past you. Let's get the fuck out. Let's keep going. What say you? As you see the group just fucking running. Cloud, hello, can you hear me? As you guys get ready to like answer, you see the group just running. As you guys are running, I turn around as Max, and I'm like, holy shit, you missed a whole fuckload, man. And we keep running. Cowgirl says nothing, but what? But glaring as she runs past you, and we keep fucking going. So we get to about right here. And we recognize the room where the green brazier was. As we keep going, we see Cowgirl notices the way we came from. We have an option. We have south or we have left. Which way do you guys want to go? Here, Gunderson, Pro, and Skull following close behind. Hatches Pro Gamer Guns and hugs. As we're running and the group is kind of running together, we're kind of looking. Nobody realizes to ask Skull right away, like, which the fuck way should we go? And Pros yells out, let's go south. And the group, we just kind of unisonally just head. We're kind of hurrying. We're trying to get the fuck out. We're kind of anxious and just want to get these guys out of here, safety, and get the hostages out. So we keep running. As we keep running south, you start to notice, Pro Gamer Guns, the curiosity that was sparkling lights that you saw on the roof cavern. As we come up to this ledge and we see the stairs, we kind of this ledge not as tall as the others, as we just one at a time shoo, 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 as we jump up, and everybody just keeps going. Some of us tumble, some of us land on our feet and knees, some of us take a step, others just keep charging. The brothers following closely behind along with Skull, and you guys look above as we're running, and the background is moving, and you see kind of the lights reflecting, and pools or some kind of gem is reflecting against the top surface of. As we get through the cavern, you guys notice a door to our right, a same iron door. It seems like another room is to your right. As we go, the group kind of slows down and notices this room has a lot of drawing on it. Some of it dwarven, some of it elven, other gnomish. You guys notice this room has some extreme decorations to, as the door is also singed with past battles and last residue alike. You definitely notice a door to your side. Pro, you notice it first, along with Blue, and you call out, and you're like, "Oh wait, there's a door!" And do we want to try and go this way? Do we want to going, say fuck it, let's just go because we have hostages with us? Um, what do you guys think? That.
I vote Rockseeker. I'm gonna cast.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I could do that.
And then we can go.
Party
Whatever
room.
happens, stay here. And they're hidden.
That's a very good question. Gothix looks to the dwarf and asks, "Can he read the writing?" The oldest Gunderson brother looks to you and he goes, "And it's of an ancient dialect, but yes, I can make it out." It says this is a wizard's quarters, a barracks of some sorts for a some of the higher wizards that were helping in this cavern. It seems that this might be the quarters of a long lost wizard sect in this room. Um, some of the our incantations or some of the writing looks arcanic and looks magical. So Cowgirl has an idea, and she goes, "We should put the Gunderson brothers into like a nook and cast minor illusion." And is it a concentration? A cantrip. I know, huh? Yeah, I know. I don't know if it. You have your phone? I know, but cantrip can be concentration. I just need to know if you take damage. I just need to know if you take minor damage. Do you? Well, you didn't take damage. In here, you might take damage. I need to know if you take damage. Do you need to sound or image? It is not a. It is not. You create a sound or image of an object within range, lasts for a duration. Illusion also. Yeah. Okay. Must be no larger than about a 5 foot cube. Can't create sound or light or. Okay. So it's only about a 5 foot cube, but two of you guys have minor illusion. You guys could both create something together. I would say you because Skull has because you can do a 5 foot, but then he has to do the other 5 feet. So Cowgirl suggests that we put them into a nook and cast minor illusion of a rock wall so that it looks like they're hidden. And party room. The last door almost fucked us, so fuck that. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, where how else do we get cool stuff, right? So I agree. I'd like to look into, you know, as long as the hostages are more or less safe, I think be okay. So Cowgirl comes over to you, Skull, and you guys together walk over to nook in the wall, and you got both cast minor illusion as you both kind of wave your hands and recite the incantation. All of a sudden, the two Gunderson brothers kind of sit. You know, I kind of walk up to the group, and I'm like, I walk up to the the brothers, and I'm like, they seem protesting. They're kind of nervous. They're like, we just want to get out of here. And I look to them like, wait, we'll give you some food and water, but one of our reasons for coming here was to see what we could find, and we were also looking for as many magical items as we can. Anything we find that the black spider does not have access to is better for us and better for the kingdom. Then and Cowgirl says to them, and she speaks up, and she goes, "We will keep you safe," as she tries to lower her voice and calm them and bring a soothing sense of security, and says, "We will keep you safe, but without us, you can't get out of here. So just sit down, take some of these rations, and we will." As Max hands them a canteen of or a leather pouch of some water, you both cast your illusion, and a rock wall appears over them or around them. So. So. Oh. Oh, you don't have minor illusion. Oh my god, you don't have minor illusion? God, you traded that out. Well, you have thaumaturgy and prestidigitation. So prestidigitation, um, yeah, I can cast a spell that I don't have for plot reasons. No, you don't. You don't have it. So, Cowgirl has minor illusion. You do not. Um, so that's not going to work. So anything else? So basically, if there's anything else you can think of, babe, you have minor illusion, and what else do you have? Don't you have anything else that can create an illusion? You have magic hand. Okay, so no, that's not going to work. Okay, so the Gunderson brothers kind of start to talk to the group, and they're like, "We don't want to stay here. We don't want to stay here." And as we kind of hand them some rations, and we tell them, "Look, we can't." So, Cowgirl, go ahead and roll a persuasion check, and let's see how that goes. Ooh, an 18. Okay, so the brothers, plus 5. Wow, so 23, right? 23. So Cowgirl, she calms them down. Her voice kind of starting to sound as soothing as she can. She kind of takes the fire out of her eyes and tries to smile at them. And both Max and Cowgirl try to comfort their, their residents of their city. And we both try to just like we need to find as many things as we can to take from the black spider. As long as you are patient and stay out of trouble, we will keep you safe. Just stay here, and we will check out and see what we can find. Okay? And Cowgirl rolls really well and persuades them. And so you come up to this door. Gothix, you see Blue kind of already, his hands on his chest, examining the door, along with Pro Gamer Guns at his right side, as her eyes start to gleam with treasure and curiosity. Gothix, you walk up slowly behind Pro Gamer Guns, standing a couple feet taller than her, and you see in front of you guys a door, a locked door. It looks like it's shut and sealed. It is openable with a strength check, or with it is the you look at the door and you see that a lot of the mechanisms have been melted. The iron hinges have also been singed and burnt. This situation looks very familiar to you guys. Would anybody like to try the door first? You can go ahead. Pro Gamer Guns, if you'd like to give the door a shot, you can attempt to open it. Looking for a 15. Six plus your athletics, so it's 12. As Spyra kind of moves up and she kind of, I got this, and she kind of tries to bust the door open. No luck. I kick the door again in rage as she kicks the door and it does not budge. Okay, so Skull, I walk up to the rest of the group. Skull kind of comes back to keep the players safe. Pyro moving side as well. Say, how long does your blur last, babe? 10 minutes. Okay, I'd say you're about 7 minutes right now. Not too long, but you're getting there. Would anybody else like to try and open the door? Pro kind of sticks. Spyro takes a step back as her foot kind of, hurts a little bit and her shoulder's a little tender. As Max, I kind of see his intricate design, stands tall, connecting to the roof and cavern above us. No, you cannot try to pick the lock with your Talon because the Talon's blade is way bigger than a lock hole. If you had Thieves' Tools or proficiency with Thieves' Tools, which Gothix does have, but the thing is that the lock is burnt, this mechanism is burnt and melted. The door seems melted shut. You can make it soft, yeah. Still gonna take a strength check to get it open. Make the DC lower, yes, you could do that if you'd like to do that. So Cowgirl kind of walks up next to the group, and she walks to your side, Gothix, and she starts to, as you see kind of the metal heating up after a couple minutes pass. Cowgirl starts to try to heat up the metal and heat up the mechanisms on the door, trying to make it easier. That brings down the DC to a 11. If somebody wants to go ahead and make a strength check, go ahead and give it a shot. Cowgirl could do it. Anybody could do it. I run for the door and ram it. Both of you can go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll, both of you. Skullface, you get it, or Gothix, you give it a roll as well. As Cowgirl takes it, or Programmer Pyro Megara takes a step back. Kyle walks forward, and Skull comes running up behind you, Gothix. Rolls a 4. Okay, so Gothix, you walk up, and as you try to kind of nudge the door and you kind of give it a small little shoulder shrug, all of a sudden, Skull comes running up and busts the door open. Dun, 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 dun. All right. You guys open the door. You see around you various tables, items, a bed, everything singed. What looks like a big blast went off in the room. Um, here, the beneath the sagging ceiling shows that this room was damaged by a destructive blast. The furnishings, tables, and chairs and bookshelves are charred and splintered. You don't see much. You hear nothing as you walk into the room. As you and Gothic Kyle kind of walk a little more forward, the rest of the group moving in closely next to you. All of a sudden, Kyle, Skull, you hear a voice, not in your head, but around you. Almost you can't find the center point of it. And it sounds like, "Our presence here offends me. Your life is forfeit. My treasures are not for you to plunder. They are mine, and mine alone." You're a ghostly voice. As soon as you hear that voice, a ghostly figure appears out of the ground in front of you, standing and floating, a black shade-like creature appears, its willowing wisps of its form swaying side to side as you see in front of you this creature. Take a look at it. Its hoods draped, its hands skeletal in nature. You do not see the face. You just see black in its hoods. You see smoke billowing out its sides. "What business do you have in my home?" As he speaks up to you, Skull and Kyle. Jesus Christ. Funny, man. How do you reply, Skull and Gothix? The Skull kind of says to the side of his mouth, "I fucking told you." Son of a beholder. I fucking told you. Live a little, as a pro kind of comes up behind you, Skull, and kind of nudges you in the side. She kind of, her smaller form peeking between you two and your legs as she stands just behind you. Skull answers, "We wish to stop the bad people from getting the powerful items you have in your possession." Gothix rubs hands together. "We can take this wet blanket on." Oh, one answers very aggressively. One answers very passively. The Wraith reacts to Skullface. You kind of hear this shrill of kind of agreement to your statement, Skull. The Wraith answers back to you. I have many things in my possession. Many have come, many have failed. The Drow and his bugbears were no match. But alas, I myself, no match for other creatures. There is a spectator to the north who bothers and protects some more items that I would love to procure. If you kill the spectator for me, I will reward you greatly. As you hear that, Skull and Gothix, you realize that he is talking about the spectator that you guys have already killed. He is not aware that the spectator lives no more. Gothix, as you say that, we can take this wet blanket on. The Wraith kind of shrills at your response and kind of as you hear kind of a shrieking female type voice kind of echo as he kind of grows a little in size, and he kind of shows a little more intimidation as his wisps kind of willow in a faster succession, and he kind of stares at you, Gothix, as he kind of floats towards you, and he goes, "Oh, really? Do you even know what I am? I was a great, powerful wizard once. This battle has left me scarred and angry. But you have no idea what I am capable of." DM, how do I attack a ghost? My weapons will go right through him. You do not know yet. You are not aware. You can, there's things I've told you guys in the past on how to learn things about animals, if you can remember what that is. I'm not going to throw you too many answers right now. This is your challenge. We've kind of been in situations like this where you didn't know anything about the enemy. What were the things you did to figure things out about it? Attack it and hit it till it dies. Skullface answers, "We killed a spectator already. I just wish to talk and maybe make a friend of you." Go ahead and roll a charisma check, Skullface. Go ahead and roll a 20's charisma check. A 7 plus your badass charisma. Charisma, straight charisma check. 7. Oh. All right. No, actually. So, as you say this, Skull, the Wraith kind of, its size shrinks again as it shows a less threatening presence, as the whiffs and the smoke seems to, instead of going out and creating a bigger image, starts to kind of flow down and trickle down its sides as the black smoke kind of wisps against the ground as the creature moves in towards you as its hood is covering its face. And he goes, "You did you?" Well, it seems you guys were able to take care of something that has been baffling me for quite some time. You see, that spectator should have left long ago. He has gone crazy. The mine is still in order when this mine was destroyed years ago. Since you were able to take care of this for me, I have a gift for you, sir. And he looks behind you, or not, he looks to behind him, Skull, and he looks to a book on the table. And he points to the book, and he kind of backs up, and he points to the book, as you did not see the book before he backed up, and he goes, there, on that table, that tome you see. Take that, and take the sack sitting next to it. And he points to a book on the table and a small satchel laying next to it. You also see a wooden pipe with some silver and platinum engravings around it. This pipe looks very intricate and very pretty. It almost looks like it could be worth something. Also sitting next to the bag. Skull walks past the creature, and as some of your arm almost hits one of the wisps, Skull, and you notice your form kind of go through it, or his form go through your arms. And as Skull walks up to the table, you grab the tome. Go ahead and write down the histories of the realm tome, and write down, as you open as you kind of grab the tome, you notice one of the pages flip open on near the front end of the hardback copy, and you see what looks to be a map on the inside of the book. So go ahead and write down treasure map on underneath the tome. Histories of the realm, and then write down in parentheses treasure map. Along with that, you find 190 gold. Between that, you look to the creature, Pro, and you kind of walk forward, and the preacher is focused on Skull, and he kind of slowly shifts towards you, and you ask your question, and he looks to, and he goes, that is not a door. That is a box in the corner. And Skull, you grab the tome, you grab the coin, go ahead and write that down, and you start to walk back. I take it. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Skull, you come walking back. The wraith kind of sits there and looks to you guys, and he goes, well, if that is all, I will return to my activities. As you kind of see him kind of spread his hands around, and you see kind of nothing around you, and you're like, what do you mean by activities? But he kind of, as that, he kind of just creates his form, and he etherealizes, and he just shrinks back into the floor, and you see the last of him as he shrinks back into the floor, and you see nothing in front of you, and the last of his whiffs kind of just pass through the tile, and you do not see him anymore. With that, Skull, you turn around to Gothix and Kyle and Spyra, and you say, "Well, I could have been worse." And can he see us? You do not know. Pro Gamer Guns, you're not aware. You're not able to know. You can make an Arcana check, see if you can remember anything, or see if you know what the heck you saw. As you walk back, Skull and Gothix, you guys come back, and you guys walk out of the door, and Max, and Pyro were watching the whole thing and kind of seeing how everything would, pan out. And I look and I'm like, what the hell was that thing? This shit was scary, man. Looked like it was gonna suck your soul out. So if I look in the box, could be kicking myself. So if I go look in the box, I could be kicking myself in the ass. Yes, you could be. You have received the treasure. As far as you know, your deal with him is complete. Okay. With that, I walk over to the Gunderson brothers, and I tell them, all right, see, that wasn't too bad. And they kind of like, we're hearing the whispering. You kind of hear that they're a little more tense. They're shaking a little bit more. They're scared. They were like, what? Who the hell was that voice? And the other brother, the older brother, Deeper Gunderson, he goes, that was not of this world. And I look to them and I'm like, I'm not sure what the hell that was, but he just didn't really want us to mess with his treasure. And he wanted to get rid of the spectator to the north, which he's not aware, or he wasn't aware that we actually killed it with some swiftness. And I kind of think back to Spyro almost dying and Gothix trying to ride the like a cowboy riding the spectator. Yeah. I thought that was Skull's treasure. Here's the thing, guys, is when it comes to like items that are given in the story that are not given to you like crazy individually, like if I tell you, okay, this is a Wind, this is Wind's Fury, or oh, this is fucking Naginata that you bought. Most of the time, gold that isn't found like individually, but found as a group, is kind of a group's gold. Like we kind of split it between each other. I'd say 190 split, besides like we all find our individual group gold, and then we find like kind of group gold. It's kind of up to Skull. He found the 190. He can decide to share it as a group or keep it as himself. But like items, especially magic legendary items, those are found as a group. Those are, even if one person finds it by themselves, it is a group thing that they've found. Like the Amulet of Kalar is all of ours. It's our groups, our kingdoms. It's not for any one person, because we will use it together to help us in whatever the hell we need. But having a level 4 polymorph necklace, is really nice actually at this level. And the balance of it is that it needs a tuning, so we can't just toss it to each other and change. Someone needs to set up with it and be like, okay, we're gonna use it for this, and this, or whatever. Yeah, you can keep the book, and Skull, go ahead and make a DC 12 investigation check. I know how to make friends. As a Skull kind of, the rest of the Gunderson, they sit up, they kind of dust themselves off, they get between the group, Pyro, the rear, and Blue as well, as we keep walking south. Oh wow, an investigation at a 20. Holy crit. Yeah, this is a treasure map of a dungeon in the north. This leads you to what is a nether dungeon that we someday may be able to explore. The book talks about that it is in a forest deep in the woods, and you have a map leading you to it. So if we decide to go on an adventure, we can your treasure map is a quest item that leads to like another quest, and more stuff. Okay, so the group keeps walking down. You know that it's at least somewhere to the north up here. You will later on be able to check its so it's a little more towards home. Up here past the Riverlands. Up here north. I give the gold to Max to divide. Oh, 190 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 6. 190 divided by 6. $31 gold. Everybody gets 31 gold. Go ahead. As the group, Skullface comes out, he kind of comes up in the middle of the group. Everybody kind of huddles around him, and he's like, "Here, this is for us." And everybody go ahead and write down 30 gold. I will say another 30 gold is divided by 6 people because that's Blue's share. So add another 5 to it. So 35 gold. Everybody gets another 35 gold. Babe, 35. Yeah, go down. Gothic's another plus 35. Okay. Keep your cut. Ooh. Grease the wheels, I see. As Skull also kind of hands me to it, and I look to Skull, and I'm like, "What's that for?" And as you move to explain, as you guys are about to talk, we come into another opening. Pro gamer guns. The smell, this acrid smell. You start to smell something that smells very mildewy and acidic in nature as you come out, and you see green fungus all around you. The light emanating from behind you from Pyro, Skull, Gunderson, Gothics. Everybody starts to smell this acrid smell, this acrid aroma into their nostrils. Too. I'm keeping the book, so I don't want it. Okay. Oh, add 1 gold. Okay, do that too, Pro. Yeah, you find you as you're kind of searching around, Pro, you kind of hold your lucky kobold's tooth necklace. Notice a coin on the floor near some of the fungus, and you reach over and you pick up and you coin. Go ahead and do that. Okay. So, Pro Gamer Guns, Skull, Gothics, you guys notice a dense carpet of weird fungi cover a large section of the floor in this cavern. The growth includes puffballs of a foot across and weird shelf fungus growing on the stalagmites, as large stalks and caps of a good 5 feet tall. Some of the puffballs glow with an eerie green phosphorescence as you see this green glowy cavern all around you. Notice that this fungus seems to fill a lot of this area. What would you guys like to do? Kind of a choose your Choose your thing right now. All right, good stuff, bro. Yeah. I would like to use my herbalism kit on the fungus without touching it. Very good. All right, so Skull kind of moves past the group, comes in between Pro as you look, and you kind of see Skull kind of bend down and pull out his alchemist or his herbalism kit, grabs some tweezers, and he goes to one of the fungi and kind of takes a piece and puts it into a little glass vial, and you see him pour a liquid in it, and he kind of shakes it about. Go ahead and make a herbalism check. Go ahead and make a nature check, Skull, and add your proficiency to it. Come on, good roll. All right, that works. Okay, so as you look into it, you look at this, you see this fungus, and you you recognize this fungus. It is a poisonous fungus. This is known as the giant's toe fungus. This green fungi can enter the air and can actually poison you just by touch, and can also can be airborne as well. You assess that touching any of these mushrooms will cause the puff clouds to create, or the mushroom to release a puff cloud, thus poisoning anybody within a 5-foot range of the mushroom. I have to go to bed soon. That's okay. It is almost there. It is 10 o'clock. If you guys want, we can close it off for now, or we can keep going for about another 30 minutes if you guys want. Or we can call it. I'm okay with that. I think for now we'll see what happens. I shout, everybody stand the fuck back as you do that, and you kind of, this sense of horror kind of comes over you, Skull, and you tell for everybody to back up, and you realize, and you relay this information. You kind of push your hand towards Max and Spyra, and you say, everybody stand back. And you said, this is poisonous, and you know, you kind of cover your mouth, and you kind of put your whatever clothes fabric over your mouth, and to stop anything from entering inside. So we have come to a dead end. We can either attempt to run through, which I really don't recommend, or we can try and go back a different way. Pro Gamer Guns would like to call it. You guys agree? Cowgirl's nodding her head. If you guys are okay with that, yeah, we can call it. I'd say I had a pretty good little session. We didn't really get into any crazy fights, but we definitely a lot developed. This was definitely a story. We are back together, and we have the group, and we have the hostages, and they are fucking alive. The spider escaped, but you know, shit like that happens. The real world. Sometimes things don't go the way you plan, or the way. Not everything wraps up with a bow. In the real world, you know, bad guys escape. Bad guys win sometimes, most of the time, you know. So I'd say we can call it and come back next week. We stand just outside this glowing green cavern of green fungi known as the giant's toe fungus. And oh, you got the SAT? Okay. I remember the way back. I'm fine with calling it. Okay, yeah, we should. Skull remembers the way back with his keen mind and can find us easily the exit as long as nothing bad happens. I say we're yeah, good luck with your SAT tomorrow, man. Good luck. Don't be discouraged if you don't get it right the first time. You're allowed to retake it, you know. I think you're just doing a practice, right? Or is this for the money? Um, you know, it's fucked up that in America everything comes down to one test. You know, sure it's that way in other countries too, but it you know, practice, man. That's what it is studying for it and stuff. You know, do well if you study. Focus, the hard part, and prepare. Those who prepare prevail. Ah! All right. Well, thank you for everybody for tuning in. I had a pretty good little session. I had a lot of fun. I was very nervous. I had prepared for so many scenarios that if we did this or if we did that, what would maybe happen or what this might happen, and um, nothing of what I prepared for happened. So you know that's a DM's job. That's a GM's job. That's okay though. I think it goes smoothly though when I do that. Like okay, that works. Uh, so, you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for playing. I love you all. You guys did great. I will see you tomorrow, okay? I love you now. Bye. Fare thee well, Gothics. Fare thee well, Skull and Pro. You guys have a great night and prepare for next week as we re-enter our kingdom's core. 1 foot at a time. We kind of started late too. We started at like trying to start by like 7 and 6. Because we got East Siders. A good night. Get a little more detail of the map. Yeah. Table. Hills. Thunderhill Mountain. Where the Wave Echo Cave is at the base of the hill. That's the little area we've discovered. Oh, the rest of the area we get to discover. Yay. Zoom out.